we're throwing high, hard ones coming up next because we're talking baseball.
Yeah, we had our last podcast Thursday, and this Dodgers-Padres series got red hot Thursday night.
Well, it was quite a week. The Dodgers beat the Padres 3 out of 4, and then we had the incidents on Thursday night. Let's just talk about the bad blood rivalry. Was there a villain in all this? 8-hit batsman in 4 games? That's a little bit over the top. But this whole thing came because of bad pitching. I think Dave Roberts deserves some blame. Mike Shildt deserves some blame. Robert Suarez got suspended for 3 games. Obviously, baseball blames him along the way. The most unique thing, the scary thing to me, and I think something has to change in the batter's box for Fernando Tatis, because he continues to get hit. He's been hit 14 times in the last 3 years since he came off his suspension. He crowds the plate, he leans, he lunges into pitches, and he has a tough time with sight recognition, where the ball's going and whether he should back away. It's great to have courage, but my biggest fear, because I've seen him almost get buzzed a couple times in the head. He's going to take one in the face with severe implications. So as much as he's a great hitter, and you have to pitch him inside because he's got such great reach outside. That's why they jam him. But you got guys throwing 100 miles an hour that do not know where the ball is going. Fernando's got to be cognizant of the wildness of some of these pitchers, and they have all this information. They have all these scouting reports. They see videos on these guys. They know who can spot the ball, who can't. Fernando has to be leery of stepping into one and taking one in the face. I'm really concerned about his future well-being there. In terms of what happened, there's no doubt in my mind Ohtani got plunked. I understand the code. You throw at my guy, I'm throwing at your star. Eye for eye, tooth for a tooth. But in terms of Suarez hit him with a 100-mile-an-hour fastball at the top of the back, 5 inches higher, and it's in the neck and the throat area. And that's real dangerous. And Suarez said, no. Baseball doesn't buy that at all. And in terms of the dugout incidents, Mike Shildt has every right and responsibility to come out of that dugout and go to home plate as Tatis is lying there crumbled after getting beamed again, and to confront the umpires. But when Mike Shildt broke away from the umpires and made a beeline towards the Dodger dugout, that incited everything. Dave Roberts has every right to come out of the dugout. And then there was the ensuing brouhaha behind home plate. Roberts, though, does not have the right to put his hands on Mike Shildt and do this.
No.
Or do this. And he did. Dave Roberts should have gotten an additional suspension for that rather than just the 1-game suspension he got, like Mike Shildt got. Will it cool off? Yeah, it's going to cool off. The weirdest part, the most bizarre part, nobody saw this except the host on this podcast, because the TV guys didn't make comment on it. The weirdest part was we saw Ohtani at first base after the beaning, standing there as they were trying to settle everything down. Ohtani's sitting there laughing and joking with a rise. And then Ohtani went to the Padre dugout, and the umpires started to gravitate over there. But Ohtani was laughing and exchanging jokes with the guys in the Padre dugout. I mean, how classy is that of him not to respond, not to retaliate after getting hit twice with dangerous pitches? Nobody commented on that. And then the other thing, I don't know if you saw it, right at the end, as the sides separated, walking down the first base line was Teoscar Hernandez with his arm around Mike Shildt, laughing, with Shildt laughing to try to diffuse the whole situation. So they calmed it down. Yeah, I think they have till August 15th when they play again.
It's going to be good.
And it'll be, but so John, you talked to me about beanballs. Who's the villain in this whole situation? The thing that I do enjoy from a media perspective is dealing with Dave Roberts and dealing with Mike Shildt. There's no coach speak. They wear it on their sleeve. They tell you what they think. You know, Mike Shildt says, I don't hold grudges, but damn it, I'm going to be in the foxhole defending my guys. You know, and Dave Roberts is very vocal about what happened and his perspective of this. And so I don't like brawls. I don't like beanball stuff because that's really dangerous stuff. And I get upset at, young guys coming up, throwing 100 miles an hour, don't know where the ball's going, and hitting guys high, hitting them in the head, hitting them on the hands, which could cause a major injury. And the look on the face of Joey Little, the Dodger rookie pitcher who beat Tatis, and he's a young pitcher, he looked like he was going to cry. He looked like he was just so scared about what happened. So I know it's part of baseball. I know there is a baseball code, but I just don't want to see great players get badly hurt. And that Ohtani pitch, it comes 5 inches higher, it hits him in the throat. That's real bad. And Tatis, he leans in all the time. He can't do that because he's going to take one right on the cheekbone, which has got bad implications. Okay, John, I've said my piece. Throw a high, hard one in response.
This makes the rivalry even better. It's more entertaining, with all this other kind of extracurricular stuff going on. Now, first of all, Tatis does not crowd the plate. I mean, if you see the way he sets up, he has an open stance. His left foot is sort of in the bucket, right? Kind of pointing towards third base. And then he kind of steps into the pitch. But even when he's striding into the pitch, it's not like he's hanging over the edge of the plate like Barry Bonds did. It's the whole thing is it's the strategy, how they pitch to Tatis, because they know he's a sucker for the low and outside slider, just like Manny is. But to Tatis, they go up high towards the head, so he's backing off, and then they go down low, and away, and they get him, and that's the formula. So the good news is that Tatis can move like the Matrix, and he can back away. But yeah, it's scary when they're thrown up near the head, no doubt. Don't want to get hit in the hand. Manny said we had to light a candle for him to make sure we was going to be okay. But as far as who's the villain, it's hard to point your finger at one specific person because guys like Little for the Dodgers, it was his debut, I think.
And they sent him right back to Oklahoma City.
Yeah. So and this guy's, they're throwing hard. They're probably being coached to throw high and up and high to Tatis. And you get that 2-seamer and it just runs in. It got away from him. I don't think that was intentional at all. Suarez's was definitely intentional, as a response. And that's the baseball code. You got to do the response thing. But the whole Robert Shildt level of this, it just makes it even more entertaining. And remember Roberts and Andy Green got into it about 5-10 years ago. Yeah. And so I just think this makes the rivalry so much more exciting. Yeah, good on Shohei for kind of laughing it off and diffusing it. Same with Teoscar and Shildt. But, just as long as we don't have an incident like Pedro Martinez taking out Don Zimmer in one of those brawls, and I think we're going to be okay. It's all good.
That's where we are. By the way, sidebar. How about Team Utility Man? How about Jose Iglesias on Sunday?
Oh, hell yeah.
Padres struggle against Kansas City, come back and beat Kansas City. The super utility man comes up with a 2-run double in the 7th to tie the game as a pinch hitter. Then throws a man out from mid-center field to home plate to wipe out the go-ahead run on the top of the 9th, and then drives in the winning run with an infield single in the bottom of the 9th. All that from Jose Iglesias. So he and Gavin Sheets have been the nice off-season acquisitions that A.J. Preller has made. Is it enough? No. I still think as we go towards July 31st trading deadline, there's got to be another transaction there. But Team Utility Man, he's really become popular at Petco Park.
Yeah, OMG, man. And when it was interesting because Jay Cronin were supposed to bat there, was it in the 8th inning, I think? And he pinch hit. And then the lefty-righty thing got flip-flopped both ways. And so now you've got Iglesias facing a right-handed hitter. And I'm like, oh, I hope this works out, because, you burn Cronenworth, who can drive the ball deep. And sure enough, that scrappy little hit over the first baseman's head, and that relay throw, Jackson Merrill, man, he relayed that in quick, got it into Iglesias, and the hell of a tag by Maldonado. I think he tagged him when the player was in midair, and then he made the extra tag when they were dancing around home plate.
I agree. It was quite a thing. Does it propel them back into the pennant race?
No.
Nah.
Yeah, but they're on track.
They're 5 and 6 back still, etc. So you're a Padre Dodger fan, feel free to jump on board. Was there a villain in this thing? You're worried about guys really getting hurt? I mean, what could have happened to Tatis? What could have happened to Ohtani? Feel free to join us. Fans Forum chat box is open. We got slots here for Dodger and Padre fans. Got to dial in right now.